Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on our simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us today. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a returning guest that has a lot of things going on as we're heading into this month and also preparing for some big things going on this year as well. We're now live on the Amazon Live side with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. I'm going to type you guys a welcome message over there. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, though, if you're new. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the books and magazines by our next guest. Chanelle Coleman Wesley is back with us today. She's a best-selling author, media personality, as well as motivational speaker. We want to talk to her about some of the things she's doing this year in particular around this book you guys can see here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it for you guys over there on the Amazon side. That is the Empower Her Blueprint. And she also has a brand new project she's going to be premiering this year as well. Chanelle, welcome back to the broadcast.
Cyrus, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Look, glad to do it. So you always have a lot going on, Chanelle. Whether you're talking about books, magazines, speaking, you going to Africa, or it's hey,
I
going
try
to
to stay
prison.
busy. I
Hey,
try.
look, going to prisons. I mean,
Right.
there's always a lot. But what does it feel like for you, Chanelle, to be able to do all these things that bring you so much joy and are able to impact so many lives?
Cyrus is very something that's very humbling and rewarding, to be able to do some of the things that you once dreamed of doing and to be able just to make an impact makes, life seem more worthwhile. And sometimes when you go through different things, it teaches you to make an impact.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that is one of the cool things, Chanelle, is that, you have been able to do these different things and that different people, again, all over the world have gotten to know who you are. Have you always known, Chanelle, that you had something that was meant to be shared and that could impact others?
I've always felt that I was supposed to be speaking whatever I was supposed to be doing, speaking. As a
Okay.
kid, I was one of those kids who pray in church. I always raise their hand, and people would always say, "Well, she got, the Lord gonna use her. She got a mouth. She's gonna use that mouth." And so,
Mhm.
it paid off. All that talking in class and doing those things, they paid off finally, and
Yeah.
here I am.
Here you are. IG Live with Angela. Hello to you. Good to be able to see you over there. Hello to you as well, Mal. Good to be able to see you as well over there on IG. So you guys are coming in on YouTube as well. And Chanelle, it's been great though because you and I connected. One of the
Mhm.
books, of course, that's gotten a lot of attention. I'm going to highlight it for our audience that I have here with me as well, and that is She Said Yes to Herself
Mhm.
Unapologetically. And this book has really been for you, I think, a big part of your brand but
Yes.
also a big part of your mantra in life about saying yes to yourself. You and I've had some great conversations about that theme. Talk to us about, though, how important that's been for you to realize the importance of taking care of yourself first.
Well, Cyrus, I think it's just that needed conversation. I think, as people in general, but women in particular, I know that we're taught instinctively, both by nurture and nature, to be able to take care of everybody else and then save yourself to last. And it's those times when you're just, you're on the plane, you want to be able to put the oxygen mask on everyone else but yourself. And
Mhm.
you have to understand that you won't be good any good to your tribe if you don't have what you need to be healthy, happy, and whole. And so, by saying yes to myself, I had to first recognize that there were so many times that I told myself no, that I was willing
Mm,
to shrink, that I was willing to put myself in the box. If
yeah.
someone felt like it was too much, then let me roll that back and make myself comfortable to be able to sit at certain tables and things of that nature. And I had to understand that, God gave me my own gifts and influence to be able to build my own tables, to sit at my own things, and to be able to also take myself outside of the box. And now that I've been outside of the box, I'm just not going back in.
Good deal. Good deal. And but you know what, Shanae, I'm so glad you put it that way. But I think for our audience, let's be honest.
Mhm.
It's we have our moments, though, right? We have our moments when we do see ourselves shrinking. I know I have them
Mhm.
where you say, okay, yeah, I've learned this lesson, but then life starts happening, or
Mhm.
things get a little difficult, or seem overwhelming, and you find yourself moving back. What helps you, even in those moments, not to give up on you?
I think it's, having an amazing tribe. I have people who are close to me who I surround myself with women and men of God who genuinely care for me and, not just pray for me. They're there in the trenches. And so sometimes your tribe will look at you and say, like get yourself together. I know we can
Right.
feel like this for a second, but you can't stay there and get back up. And then you have to be able to look yourself and also be able to be willing to hold yourself accountable. I think
Yeah.
so many times we look at other people and what people, sometimes quote unquote do to us, but it's what do we allow, you know what I mean? And so what I've learned is what is allowed will continue. And so when I see
Yeah.
something that I don't feel like resonates with me and I don't like it, it's my responsibility to tell you that I don't like it. And you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's also my responsibility to move back or to do whatever I need to do to be able to protect my peace and my space.
Yeah. One of the hardest lessons, our mutual friend Melissa Banks, she had me on her show, Chanel, at the end of last year. And she asked me about one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn. And I told her, and it is still difficult for me, but I understand it's necessary. And that is that not everyone can go. Not everyone
Mhm.
can be on the ride with you.
Mhm.
What has that realization been like for you to realize that you can care for people, but at the end of the day, everyone's responsible for themselves, and you can't make someone do something they're not willing to work for.
Well, I have an amazing publicist and friend who gave me a very good analogy that I use. That's something that sticks to mind.
Mm,
My publicist Cyrus will say, Chanel, I'm creating moments for you to be Diana Ross, and but you keep falling back to be a Supreme. And it made sense because I had situations where I was creating events, and because I didn't step up and become Diana Ross, she still emerged. It
mm,
just wasn't me, and so I became a Supreme. And then I had to understand sometimes people attach themselves to you because what they feel like they can get from you, you know what I
yeah.
mean, by being at your table. But
Mhm.
also you can't want it bad or more than what the other person wants it. There used to be a time where I would be willing to stop and to wait for people to
Mm,
come on and to let's do this. And then I had to finally recognize that, look, Chanel, if you don't get moving, your time is going to be far spent. And then what are you going to do? So I have
yeah.
to continue to run. And it is my job to reach back and pull somebody up, but I can't stop running for you. I have to continue to
Yeah.
run, and I'm willing to meet you there, but you're gonna have to put on those boots and strap up and let's go.
Yeah, and it can be difficult, and for our audience out there,
Mhm.
know that you're not alone in that because it can be difficult when you want the best for people, when you
Yes.
genuinely want the best for them, but you realize they have to want it too and have to be willing to do what you're doing,
Mhm.
right? Because I think that what ends up happening, Chanel, is that we end up then slowing down or even trying to wait for them to catch up, and then we miss out
Mhm.
on opportunities because of that.
Exactly.
You know, so it definitely can be a domino effect. So that's a great segue into the newest book that you have, Chanel. Again, I'm going to highlight it for our audience on the Amazon side. The Kindle edition right now is only 99 cents. The Empower
Mhm.
Her Blueprint. Talk to us about this book and how it kind of falls in line with what you kind of talked about here about saying yes to yourself, Chanel.
Well, I love the question because I'm excited about this dynamic book, and don't just take my word for it. The
Mhm.
book is not just a mantra, not just some affirmations or some good information. It also gives you tangible steps. Sometimes when people read a book, they're thinking, okay, this is great information, but how do I implement this? How do I make this, relatable for me in real time? How do I apply this? And that's what the blueprint is all about. It's about providing you with tips, tricks, and strategies for you to be able to recognize your yes. And I understand, as women, it's necessary for us to create the conversation, to change the narrative, to be able to kind of disrobe ourselves from the previous ideas and society's confines and be able to just to step outside and to create new avenues for ourselves.
Yeah, and I love that too. And I love the fact that one of the things you do in this book, and you do it in, she said yes to herself unapologetically as well, Chanel, is you show that there's work. There's work involved, right? It's reading the book is great, but then they have to
Mhm.
have to implement what's in the book in order to see the results. Have you been able to, because you are someone who works very hard, Chanel, and I know you have a lot of things that you do, but how do you normally take out the time for yourself when it comes to celebrating yourself. I have struggled with that in the past myself. I know some of our audience may do it too. What helps you to kind of take a pause, take a step back, and say, "Wow, I really did that."
You know what, Cyrus? It's something that have to just constantly tell myself, because there is an urge to be able to run for the next and the next
Yeah.
and the next,
Mhm.
and I'm learning to just to be appreciative of even the small moments.
Mm.
Maybe I didn't climb the mountain, but I took 10 steps. So let's
Yeah.
celebrate that. How can I reward myself? And
Right.
how can I treat myself? And I had try to treat myself the way I want other people to treat me. So I have to learn how to love on me, and to take Chanel out, and to date Chanel. And Chanel likes to go on trips, and Chanel likes, perfume and food and all the kind of things. So I give Chanel what Chanel wants. I work Chanel very hard, but at the same time, I have to understand that I only have one Chanel. And
Yeah.
she's just her worth is invaluable to me. And so I have to treat her the way that I want other people to treat her too.
Yeah, and I just add to that, Chanel. Not only do you only have the one Chanel, there's only one Chanel for us, and if you don't take that time, then we miss out as well on
Yeah.
what you have to offer as well. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We're on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We have Amazon bestselling author, media personality Chanelle Coleman Wesley back with us today. You guys know her because of books like She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically. I also have her other book here, Naked and Not Ashamed, and her newest book, The Empower Her Blueprint. All of them are here on Amazon. As I mentioned, the Empower Her Blueprint is only 99 cents the Kindle edition, or you can be able to get the print as well. But also on Amazon, Chanel, we have the Hustle Her magazine.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How did Hustle Her come about?
You know what, Cyrus? Originally, a few years ago, I wanted to do a magazine for Black women authors. That was originally the idea.
Mhm.
And over time, she just kind of developed, and she kind of just morphed into this thing. And I was thinking, I wanted a space for Black women of faith to be able to be celebrated, to be recognized, to be challenged, to be told, yes, sis, celebrate this moment and pick up, let's go, let's run this mile.
Mhm.
And Hustle Her magazine is that dynamic space. I'm so excited about it because I have so many phenomenal contributors.
Mhm.
Brittany Draper being one, Brittany,
Mhm.
Brian JT Watts, Crystal Vernay, who's also a sponsor, and Simply She. So many other people, Miss Queenie Clem. I hate to call people's name out and not call everybody. Tina Perry, because you always forget somebody.
Right,
Carmela
exactly.
Harris, Tatiana Lee. I think I got everybody's name. I think I did. But just a phenomenal a group of people, but also being able to spotlight so many phenomenal women. We were able to do something with, of course, Vanessa Miller, and of
Mhm.
course, Butterby Rocka, who's out getting some Grammy nominations. So I'm really excited for everything that she has going on, and we
Yeah.
can't wait to host Dr. Velma Bagby. So I love being able to provide opportunities to be able to celebrate and congratulate Black women of faith.
Love that. Brittany is joining us on Facebook. She says, "You two are amazing. You're amazing as well." Brittany, thanks so much for watching us live there. And I see you guys over there. Appreciate the hearts over there on YouTube as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Chanel, put those in. So, we talked about you being an author. You're also an editor in chief. You're a publisher of a magazine. You also, of course, have your own media show as well. But you're adding a new title to your name this year, Miss Wesley, and that is children's book author.
Yes.
So, first of all, tell us the title of the children's book that's coming and where the idea came from.
Oh, so Cyrus, I'm excited about this. This has been like this. Actually, this was the first book I ever wrote, even though it
Wow.
is just now coming out. It was something that I was really excited about, but it's something that I just was trying to figure out how is it going to be possible and all the different things. And so I'm just very thankful that I had such an amazing group of people around me. Of course, my amazing friend and publicist, Cyrus Webb, is doing my editing for me. So I'm excited about that. I have a phenomenal illustrator, Tasha, who worked really hard on the images, and I was so
Mm.
excited about it. So the name of the book is Believe, and it's all about teaching children, but especially young girls, to be able to believe in the in what God has called them to be and who God has called them to be, believing in themselves, having that confidence. And so I'm excited about it because I feel like it's a necessary conversation for us to be able
Mhm.
to start introducing to our children at a young age to be able to believe in themselves and to be able to know that if they have this godly confidence that they can accomplish anything.
Yeah, I love that. Dr. Velma, we just talking about
Hey,
Dr. Velma.
Dr.
There she is
Vince.
on Facebook. Good to see you, Dr. Velma. Well, and I have to say, I have read the book. It is an amazing story. I was inspired by it. I'm excited for you, Chanelle, because I think it's so timely. But you mentioned, for girls, I think as we see in the book, and we won't give this away, adults will be inspired by this as well, because it really does show not only the importance of the dream, but the importance of no matter what anyone else says, not giving
Mhm.
up on yourself. How has that message helped you to make sure that, because let's be honest, no one's going to like everything that any of us do. We see that every day on
Mhm.
social media. But what helps you not to give up on you in spite of what others may say, Chanel?
I think it's that little girl inside of me. When I was originally thinking about the idea and the concept for the book, my youngest daughter, Taraja, everything was ballerina. She was ballet and doing all the things. And I was like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be all of these different things and I saw everything as possible. But then when I quote unquote grew up,
Mhm.
now, you can't do those things. Focus on this and focus on that. And I was like,
Yeah.
what would have looked like had I kept all of those things. And I've eventually had to find young Chanel who believes she can do everything and she can do anything and she tries to do everything that she wants to do. But it's something where I found me, my inner Chanel, that inner child who used to believe, back in the day, we used to do those things called wishes. You grab them, you blow on them, and you would believe that whatever you thought could come true. And we believed the infinite was possible. And so I wanted to be able to create that moment for children and to know that with God on their side, they can accomplish anything.
Yeah, such a great reminder for sure. And I think for all of us, it's so important. I want to talk to our audience for a second here, Chanel, because unfortunately, not everyone has someone like you in their lives that is supporting them, encouraging them, pushing them. For those who don't have that, what would you say to them about the importance of, for one, to keep believing in yourself in spite of, but also that they have something great to be able to share and they need to share it?
Well, I would say this. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and say, look, hey, I'm not giving up on you. Don't you give
Mm,
up on me. We got this. We're going to continue. We're going to fight on. And I think that that is a thing to be able to speak to yourself and challenge yourself and tell yourself, hey, we got this. We're going to do this. Again, it's celebrating those small wins. It's holding yourself accountable, but it's also giving yourself grace,
yeah.
understanding that you're not perfect. Everything is not going to happen according to plan, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work out in the end, And so I think it's important for all of us to be able to believe because I think that when we do that, we attain to our highest self. And I think that we are able to, meet the ideal that God has for us when we have those types of mindsets.
Yeah, such a great reminder, I think, for all of us for sure. And I think, too, as we kind of look ahead, Chanel, and we think about all the great things that you have coming up, including the children's book, but also what you've done, just reminding us of all of what is possible in spite of the difficulties and in spite of the trials that all of us face. Again, everyone, Chanelle Coleman Wesley has been our guest. We're talking with her about the journey has been like for her, but also, of course, what's coming up. Chanel, I want to go back. You mentioned, of course, with Hustle Her, that there's going to be more coming, of course, from Hustle Her this year. We have the children's book coming. What else are you excited about for 2026?
Cyrus, I have so many things that I want to do this year. I really do feel like that little Chanel that wants to do all the things. And so I'm excited about trying to make an impact right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as well as abroad. I
Yeah.
plan on going into some schools this year to be able to share
Yes.
the Believe book with them. And I'm also planning on doing some speaking events. Of course, I have another book in the series that is called The Power of Words, which I can't wait to get that rolling next. And a couple additional books as well. I'm gonna try my hat at the Christian fiction. So I'm excited
Ooh,
about something that I'm rolling out. I've actually adapted a screenplay that I had started writing into converted into a book. So I'm
yeah.
excited about that. And I'm actually thinking about doing some things with drama again this year. That is like one of my passions, one of my loves. And so I'm gonna go back to that too.
Nice. Exciting. Exciting things
Um,
for sure. I'm excited about seeing everything. So, Chanel, for people who may be just discovering the Empower Her Blueprint, why is this a book? I'm going to let you speak directly to our audience here. Why is this a book they should add to their reading list?
Uh, the Empower Her Blueprint is something that you should have to your reading list if you're thinking, hey, I need something this year in 2026. I'm tired of saying new year, new me and doing the same old thing. I'm tired of shrinking. I'm tired of living the inside of a box. I'm tired of,
Mm,
believing that I can't do all the things I do want to believe that I'm able and capable of doing everything that God has called me to do. I know I have some things that are still left on the table that I feel like I've let part of my life go dormant and I want to live this next chapter boldly. And people who are willing to say yes to themselves unapologetically, without question, and without hesitancy.
yeah, love that. Well, Chanel, congratulations to you. Really excited about everything that's happening. This is our first conversation of the year, which I'm excited about all the great things you have coming up, especially when it comes to the children's book Believe. So let our audience know, how can they stay connected for all the updates?
Okay, well, Cyrus, first of all, thank you so very much for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. People can connect with me, Chanelle Coleman Wesley, across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Messenger. And definitely, I'm looking forward to chatting so they can always drop me a line. I'm always in Messenger. So, yeah.
Love that. Love that. Well, Chanel, congratulations to you again. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Thanks, Cyrus. Me too.
All right. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.